Thank you to the Toronto United Church Council for this wonderful, wonderful honor. I'm deeply grateful, deeply honored, deeply touched. I have to tell you that, yes, many years ago I did start, when spousal violence first came out of the closet, I felt it. My heart was engaged to it. And a group of novices came together, and one of the things we did was to put together a symposium, a national symposium, without money. And we brought together all the best minds and researchers on this subject in Canada. Deborah Sinclair was one of them. That's when I first met her and learned from her. It was a very defining moment in my life, that symposium, Deborah. And what we did learn there was how much we didn't know. Anyway, fast forward to the foundation and meeting Fraser Mustard. And I have to say that Fraser Mustard has been had a huge impact on my life. In 2011, I lost two important men in my life. My husband, who gave me love, a family, and a life. And Fraser Mustard, who gave me a mission. And so Fraser always sits on my shoulders. He's here tonight, making sure that I don't say the wrong thing. And anyway, I will die with the mission. But I repeat, I am deeply, deeply grateful for this wonderful, wonderful award. It is so gratifying to be rewarded for 25 years of work in Canada, to see if we can develop a foundation for the healthy development of all of our children, which ultimately forms a foundation for a healthy society for all of us. So thank you, thank you, thank you for recognizing and believing in our work. And thank you for what you do to provide healthy experiences for children through camping experiences. Once upon a time, I was a counselor at a United Church camp, a CGIT camp, so I do know how much children benefit. They nearly killed me. Oh. They got a lot out of it. I went home exhausted, having lost 10 pounds. The only camp experiences that my children ever had were in Atlantic, were church camps in Atlantic Canada. My grandchildren were able to benefit from the wonderful variety of camps here in Ontario, and they loved it and benefited from it. Well, almost all of them did. One grandson, the youngest grandson in my family, when he was 9, went off to camp for 2 weeks, rather reluctantly. His mother sent him off with a packet of postcards that were stamped and addressed to send to friends and relatives. On the front of the postcard, it said, "Camp is fun. I love camp. This is really wonderful." Turn it over. "Dear Nanny and Grampy, would you please tell my mom and my dad I hate camp? Please come and get me, Nanny. I hate it here." Fortunately, I didn't get it until after he was home. But the rest of them all benefited. So I commend you for providing these camp experiences. And I have to tell you that I do support a lot of organizations that send kids to camp. And I've just made out a donation to your endowment. So I commend you for, I hope that all of you will look at those pledge cards and fill them in tonight. Thank you. So this award, coming as it does from the United Church of Toronto and Canada, has very special meaning for me. I was baptized and raised and confirmed in the United Church of Canada and spent many years as the organist in our small country church in Nova Scotia. My mother's ancestors were Methodists who came to the colony of Nova Scotia from Yorkshire, England in 1772, which was the home and the origin of John Wesley, the founder of Methodism. Indeed, they were friends and followers of John Wesley. We still have the autographed hymn book that he gave them when they left for the New World. And so there in the New World, they set about to establish and build the second Methodist church in North America, second only by 2 months and separated from them by 10 kilometers. also built by another ancestor. So Methodism was a big part of my life and my culture. The social gospel of Methodism was very much a part of my family culture. A commitment to healthy citizens and a healthy society, and in early Methodism, the elevation of the mind, which is a focus on education, was almost as important as the elevation of the spirit. So education and commitment to education and commitment to community in my family was very, very much a part of my religion and culture. Since the emergence of the science of early human development about 3 decades ago, and my PhD, which I got from the College of Fraser Mustard, my focus has been on early education and the first 2,000 days of life beginning in utero, where the foundations for learning, health, and behavior are laid. So as Deborah said, our family chose to go upstream. I don't know how many of you know the upstream, downstream story, but this is it in a nutshell. A psychiatrist stood on the banks of a large river, watching the bodies of children float by. He was torn, wondering, what should I do? Do I jump into the river to see how many I can save? Or do I go upstream to see why are they falling in the river? And can I prevent them from falling in the river? That's what we have chosen to do, my family and I. When I raised my children, it was believed that the first 2,000 days of life were the sole domain and responsibility of parents. Indeed, it still holds true that the quality of parenting and family life is the single most important factor in how children turn out. During my children's early years, we had grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins to help us. It is called mothers and others. Fathers were at work and had minimal involvement in child raising, which was wrong, and fortunately has been corrected today. Fathers are deeply involved in attending the birth of their children and helping to raise the children. And I am so happy about that. But in the past 18 months, I have had 4 new great-granddaughters born. And I am green with envy because my granddaughters have experienced something which, as I said, I'm so envious. They have experienced this thing, Deborah, you'll know it, skin to skin. Do you know what that is? Now, I'm looking out at this room. You probably don't know what this is. But anyway, the baby's born, the father is there with the mother supporting her. As soon as the baby's born, shut the door and shut out the world, and the father jumps in bed with the mother and the baby, and they strip to the waist and they pass that baby skin to skin for 24, 36, 48 hours. I am green with envy. And in my next life, my dream is I'm going to get Wallace McCain back home into that bed with me to do skin to skin. So times have changed since my children were born. Modern demographics today mean it is less likely that extended family members are nearby to lend support. Most children have parents in the workforce. 70% have 2 working parents, 10% a single working parent. Only about 10% can afford to stay at home as parents. So the economic reality is that most parents need 2 salaries to help keep the family above the poverty line. Having just 1 child places a family at risk of falling into poverty. Costs for non-parental care are very, very high and chew up a large portion of family income. And more than 80% of parents need non-parental care, and they want good non-parental care. Parents today are stretched and stressed from the demands of work and career and the desire to be the very best parent. And thanks to technology, the 9-to-5 day no longer exists. You all know that. Within the reality of enormous time challenges, parents also want the very best for their child. And there's a pile of material out there on how to be a good parent. You just have to find the time. What is available to parents is a patchwork quilt of quality and quantity. The reality, rich kids get good childcare. Poor kids get poor, if any, childcare. And this means that our most vulnerable children get the poorest quality, if anything. Children need healthy development, and parents want them to have the best developmental opportunities. And it is in society's best interests to see that this happens. This is where society comes in, and this is the role that our foundation has chosen to play. Our vision is a publicly funded, publicly managed early education system linked to public education for children from age 2, preferably 1, but it's very expensive. Babies are very expensive. So governments freak out when we say 1. But anyway, we're saying 2 to school entry with a play-based curriculum led by well-educated early child professionals. The focus shifts from custodial care to educational care. The system would still match parental working hours while focusing on the developmental needs of the child. And I must point out that we do not advocate the schoolification of these little ones. It must be play-based, experience-based curriculum. Why? Play is how little ones work. This vision has many benefits. It is an equalizer, providing an equal opportunity for all children at the most critical stage in their development, for all children. It provides quality care and stimulation for children and permits parents to work, to go to school, or to meet their own personal needs. And then parents know that their children are in good hands, and this gives them the mental freedom to be better at work. It benefits all children, especially those with vulnerabilities. They can spend most of their waking hours away from toxic environments without being taken from their parents. And this will, I hope, reduce the number of children that end up in foster care. I hope. If you think of it, Deborah, as 2 social workers thinking about this, foster care doesn't work. It's traumatizing to take children away from parents, no matter how bad they are. If we can just find a way to help the parents and maybe keep them in good care for most of their waking hours, there's hope, I think. This vision reduces child poverty. It reduces the inequality gap that we have in Canada. It reduces multicultural, religious, and social barriers, building an understanding and acceptance for all races, creeds, and beliefs. Little ones don't see color differences. They're just not there. It lays the foundation for literacy, numeracy, and job skills development. It enhances emotional intelligence and interpersonal skills. And there is an economic benefit. We have this from a wonderful report from the Conference Board of Canada. It has the benefit of $6 for every dollar invested by government. Governments like that message. We are currently making good progress across Canada, working with 8 provinces and the territories. 3 of them, soon to be 4, will have 4-year-olds in full-day kindergarten. Now, you know that Ontario, you think that everybody had JK? No, they didn't. Until about 2 years ago, Ontario was the only jurisdiction in all North America that had 2 full years of preschool education. But we're expanding that now, soon, I hope, to 4 other provinces. Some of the provinces have a network of children's centres for 2 to 5-year-olds, all under public education. BC, Saskatchewan, New Brunswick, and Newfoundland are all moving forward as I speak. The federal government committed $7.5 billion to ECE in 2017, and this has been well used in the provinces, and it has moved the needle forward on preschool education. So tonight I want to express my gratitude once again for honoring me with this wonderful award and for respecting me with your attention on this what I consider a very important message. Thank you. Thank you.